Okay, first of all, I'm Matthew from Basketball Network. It's my great honor to be talking with the living legend of the day, Mr. Derrick Rose, athlete icon of Chicago Bulls and NBA basketball and the MVP in NBA history. So thank you a lot for your time today.
Well, thank you all for coming.
Obviously, we are here in Treviso, Italy for the Adidas basketball camp, Next Generation. I'm sure you saw all the young prospects and the upcoming hoopers down in the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sure it makes you think kind of yourself at that age. Looking back now with all the knowledge and wisdom you gained over your professional career, is there like one piece of advice if you could give to yourself when you were 18 years old, or in general the guys down there, that you think would be beneficial for the professional career? What would it be?
I mean, right now it's appreciating all of it. When I was younger, Nike had 2 camps. They probably don't do this anymore, but it was the big Nike camp where all the bigger kids played, like the top talent played, and there was the Jamboree camp. The Jamboree was where like 300 to 500 players played, and like the top 5 to 10 players from the Jamboree actually got invited to the big camp.
Okay.
And I didn't cherish my Jamboree moment, I would say, because I was so caught up with the big camp, and I wanted to make the big camp that I overlooked the Jamboree. And I feel like the Jamboree was the camp that gave me character.
Yeah.
Like having to play a certain way. You got 500 players there, and everybody there, we know this is like the smaller camp. So we know everybody's thirsty to prove themselves. Everybody think that they're cold, but we know that we're not the best, because if we were, we would have been at the big camp.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the reality of like being humble enough to listen to the rules without like going crazy on the court. But it was a blessing because it helped me build my character. It humbled me in a way to let me know, like, man, I just didn't go to Nike, the big camp. I went to the smaller camp. So here, even though this is the big camp, like coming in and appreciating everything, appreciating every player, every coach. When I was able to play or see OJ Mayo for the first time, he made me work on my game because I knew I wasn't better than him at the time. So the reality of like being somewhere and being practical with yourself, like I know I ain't better than him now, but let me see if I can catch him by the time my senior year. By senior year, I think I can catch him. And that's how you gotta think about certain things.
That's an awesome mindset. That's a genuine advice, definitely. Obviously, the NBA game has changed a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. You were there firsthand.
Yeah.
The reliance on three-point shooting, spraying out the floor, stretch bigs, quicker pace.
Mm-hmm.
You always adapt your game as your career unfolded. But let's say 2011 MVP version of yourself, putting out today's game with so much floor, so much pace, everything, shooting bigs. My opinion is you will be even more dominant. Like, how would you see yourself at your prime in 2025?
Just like every great player that you asked this, like you're gonna throw a crazy number out there. But I felt like I would have been, or let me say this: any great player, like great player, you could throw them in any era of the basketball, from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to 90s. You could throw them in any area and they will play the same way that they play. In some areas, they'll be great. Areas.
Agreed. A lot of players, former current players, get often asked, like, who's your nightmare match? You are consensus number one answer 90% of the time. But I want to flip the tables. Like, was there any like matchup in your career that you're like, okay, like this guy I have to be 100% prepared? LeBron's the guy.
It wasn't like a point guard matchup.
Just like a team matchup, I guess.
Yeah, team. Like, I mean, point guard too, because I wanted to like outperform point guards too, but I didn't look at it. Like, if you a scoring guard, if you average 30, if I get you to average 25, we're going to win the game. If you get 25 points, we're going to win the game. Because there's no way you could find out how to get that other 5 points with assists, because you're not an assist guy.
Yeah.
With me, I'm looking at the points. I got 22. My average is 25. I may not get to 25 tonight, but I can find a way to get three or 4 assists.
Yeah, it's about the general impact.
I'm a point guard.
Yeah.
Brian was the only one that thought like a point guard that wasn't a point guard, where he wouldn't score early, or some games he'd start scoring early, then he was smart enough to make the adjustment. And I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that. I hated point guards that act like point guards, like a Rondo, like Halliburton.
Old school guys. Yeah.
Like, that will hurt me even more if I see that you had 25, 12, 10, and no turnovers.
Efficient basketball. Yeah.
That would kill me, because I hate guys that think that they can control the game.
Of course.
Because I wasn't the leading scorer on any team that I played on until I got to the NBA.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was the general on the floor in some way. So to play in a game like that, or to play against these players, or someone that is thinking that they're a general or they're the coach on the floor, that rubs me the wrong way, even more than someone that can score 50 or 60 points.
That's a great answer. And Leslie, one question. Yeah, Leslie, one question. You know, you're such an icon in the city of Chicago, a legend of the Bulls franchise. I'm very interested to see. It's kind of a classic question, but I really want to know your all-time 5 Chicago Bulls players in history, including yourself. Like, how would you assemble that 5?
Me, of course.
Of course.
Black Cat, MJ, Pip. Damn, we got some jerseys up there.
Yeah.
That's hung up. We got Bob Love. We got him. We got Jerry Sloan. You trying to get me beat up in Chicago?
You can't miss it.
All right. Those 3. Then I gotta keep it with my Bulls room. I got my 4. My 3-4 will have to be, since I got Pip, I gotta go with Luala Bulls.
I knew those were your guys.
Luala Bulls. And my 5 gotta be, of course, Joe King. And that's no disrespect to Bob, Love, and Artist Gilmore.
I mean, that's your big man. I expected that.
Yeah, I gotta go with Joe King.
Yeah, perfect, man. Mr. Derrick Rose, thank you so much. It's been really an honor to talk with you, and I hope you enjoy your stay here in Treviso, Italy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Man, thank you so much.